We're also going to talk a little bit about what kinds of roles we see within the technology community, and also a little bit about how people kind of make their way into the tech community. So I would say, I wasn't thinking about a tech career when I was in school in your age, and it's a completely different game now. It's completely different options. So really excited to talk about that, because you can have an amazing career. But I'll tell you a little bit first about Verafin. So Verafin, as you know, is based here in St. John's, Newfoundland. So we've been in business for over 20 years. We actually just had our 20-year celebration. And we are fighting financial crime. So that's everything we are focused on. We are anti-financial crime fighters. So our platform is an anti-financial crime platform. We work with banks and financial institutions all across the world, and we are about 1,000 people strong right now in terms of employees. So we're about 1,000 people, and we're across North America, but most of those folks are based here in Newfoundland. So Verafin has grown a lot. I think even as of 5 years ago, there were about 500 people. So the last 5 years has seen a lot of big growth. And there's a lot of great things that come with that. There's a lot of people that work at Verafin and have amazing careers. They also have what they call VeraCares, which is a charity, and they do a lot of work. There's a lot of dedicated work that goes into giving back to the community in Newfoundland as well. So a lot of things we're proud to talk about today. So I think we're going to ease into this with a quick little video of Verafin, just to give you kind of an idea of what people say. So let's test my tech skills here, folks. Is the video going to pop up? And this is on our website as well. So if you love this video, you can go and watch it again.
No audio yet, Joanna.
No, I don't think there's audio.
There's a little button you have to click in the bottom that says enable audio.
Oh, is there audio issues?
Yes, yeah, no audio on the video there.
Or you may have to open it in another tab for us to hear. That's a possibility as well.
Okay, one moment. See, this is why we have technical folks, not I. Let me just send this through. So open in a separate tab.
Yep, that should work.
All right, let's try this again. Click out of here and let me try this. If this doesn't work, no sweat.
No pressure. It's all good. No audio.
No.
Nope.
Okay, I'll send you guys the link. It's a really cool video where they talk a little bit about Verafin. So let me send you the link to that, folks, and I'll send that after the fact. Maybe Katrina, or if I send this in the link, maybe you can see if it might play with audio, or I can send it after the fact. So, okay, we'll go back to the video. So at an after time. So Verafin is based here in Newfoundland. We started 20 years ago. And then fast forward to today, and we're partnering, and we were acquired by NASDAQ, which is, if you think Times Square, New York, if you've ever seen that, Verafin's image and logo was up there in Times Square. So this is an actual picture someone took. So that's a really big deal, because what that means is that we're able to grow a very successful technology company here in Newfoundland. And what that means for people in Newfoundland is that there's lots of career growth, and there's going to be lots of additional jobs and opportunities for people to be based here. So our office here is very important, and it will always be kind of the hub for Verafin. And now we're joining the wider NASDAQ family, which is across the globe. And so that's kind of a big growth from where they started. And so we're going to kind of introduce the folks a little bit as well, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Verafin from where we started to where we are now. So I want to introduce you first to Steph Ledger. So Steph, if you can introduce yourself, that'd be lovely.
Hi, I'm Steph. Good to be here today. I am actually from the United States, a teeny tiny town in Colorado. It's kind of close to Utah. It's called Hotchkiss, kind of a funny name. But I moved to Canada about 11 years ago, I think, and I've lived in St. John's ever since. I'm a product writer at Verafin, which is sort of the Verafin title for technical writing. And what's funny is I actually started as a scientist, and as a kid, I thought I would be a scientist, a biologist, or a veterinarian the whole time. And I went through school and I never changed that. And so I went to my undergrad for zoology and then grad school for biology. And I was a biologist for 12 years until the pandemic, when work started to be a little bit harder for me to get. And so what I did was I took my resume, all my science experience, and I took out all the things that, all the skills that I liked the most. And the main thing that I did as a scientist is write. You have to do a lot of writing, a lot of technical and scientific writing. And so Verafin was looking for technical writers at the time. And so that's how I joined Verafin. But yeah, so I always thought I'd be a scientist, loved my career as a scientist, had great experiences. But I actually love my career in tech so much more. Both careers, very good. But yeah, if you like English or writing or anything at all, there is many spots for you in tech, many. But that's a little bit about me. I think that's good for now.
All right. And I should have asked Steph, how do we know each other?
Oh, so Joanna and I are married.
You're my wife. Oh my God.
Yeah, so these
And
are
we work together?
house. Yeah, we're in the same house.
That's amazing. That's amazing news for me. Okay, awesome. And over to Natalia.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having us. And I'm very excited to be here to talk about my background a little bit and about the cool stuff that we built at Verafin. So I'm originally from Moldova, from a small town in the north of the country, from Soroka. I moved to Canada about 12 years ago. I lived in Alberta for first 6-7 years. And in 2016, I moved to Newfoundland, and that's when I joined Verafin. Currently at Verafin, I lead our data platform teams. Our data platform consists about 4 teams, and I try to make sure that our data platform is reliable, secure, and with amount of data that we process and transforms every day that is performant and also scalable. My undergrad was back in my home country. It was at the Technical University of Moldova, and I had a bachelor degree in information technologies. And after that, I decided that I want to study a little bit more. So I did my grad studies at the University of Alberta in computing science. Back in high school, my favorite thing was to work on research projects. So if there was a topic that was interested to me, I really enjoyed researching and reading about that and then presenting back to class. And not always I wanted to be in technology. I watched a lot of movies about Indiana Jones that I really liked. And when I was 12, I participated in archaeological excavations. And I really wanted to be an archaeologist. However, in Moldova, there were a lot of job opportunities for archaeologists. It's a small country. So I decided to look at the next thing that I was interested in, which is programming and computer science. So that's how I ended up in technology. And that's my cat Freckles on the picture.
That's awesome, Natalia. Thank you. And we're going to return to Steph and Natalia a lot throughout this, of course. And they're going to tell us a little bit more about kind of what they actually do a little later. And so my name is Joanna Brown. So I work in sales at Verafin. I'm also the vice chair of TechNL. And so I get to work with Jacqueline Lee on the phone a lot, which has been a really great experience. So TechNL, for folks who don't know, it's our provincial technology association. So it's, advancing technology, jobs, and opportunities within our province. So very awesome to kind of see the tech community from that lens. So I would have gone through school. I did business, and then after that, I did my master's or my MBA. I did them both through MUN, and through my MBA, I actually studied in Australia as part of my last term. So MUN has some really great sponsorships with different schools, and so you can actually do a fair bit of traveling while studying, which was an awesome experience. And when it comes to high school, I remember liking a lot of things in high school. I really kind of liked English. I would consider myself a generalist, so I liked a little bit about everything, I would say, but maybe not as smart as Steph in certain areas. So that was kind of my focus, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do when I graduated. I would say I was well into university, if not later, until I kind of figured out what I wanted to do. But I knew I wanted to do something innovative, and I knew I wanted to do something meaningful. And so I kind of kept my options open, I would say. So this is kind of, I guess, who's here to kind of chat with you folks today. And so we're going to tell you a little bit more about Verafin and what we do. So how did Verafin start? It actually started, it was 3 engineers that started right out of Memorial University. So they started the company. It's kind of an ongoing joke that the CEO didn't have a boss never had a boss because he started his business, or they started their business right out of university. So there's never too young to think about joining tech, and there's never too young to think about how you can solve challenges using technology. So what they were doing in university at the time was working in the mining industry, building robots, but not cool robots like you think like this. It was more like big robots like this. Like, what were they doing in mining and manufacturing? And from there, they learn certain skills, and that's kind of how everything starts. You learn a certain skill, and you find out what you like, and you kind of move along from there. And so these folks would have learned about artificial intelligence, or AI. We hear a lot about that now. But what does that really mean? So AI is code that helps a computer think more like a human. So it gets smarter and smarter, and you see a lot of technologies now using AI, and it's something that you'll definitely kind of see as you get a little bit later, or as you start your career as well. But today, we are a cloud-based software. So we are a software that helps financial institutions fight crime. I mean, that's literally what we do day in, day out. So our whole goal here is to protect the world from financial crime. And we do that through the Verafin application. So when you think, though, fighting financial crime, Verafin employees. So we're focused on fraud. We focus on identity theft, money laundering, terrorist financing, elder abuse. So any kind of, we say the word fraudsters a lot, any kind of fraudsters, bad actors, we're trying to kind of stop what they're doing. If anyone's ever seen the show Ozark, or maybe your parents watched the show Ozark, there's a lot of money laundering happening during that. And it would be torture to watch with someone from Verafin, because we know all the ins and outs of what's actually happening, and you actually would catch a lot of folks. And so it's amazing what you can do just understanding the flow of money and being able to know that this person talks to this person, and oh, that's dangerous because this. And we work with banks. We let banks have a much easier time working with law enforcement, with police. We would be like a mob's worst nightmare who's trying to launder money, because we're able to kind of see all those patterns, catch all the fraudsters, and let people know what's happening. So when I first joined Verafin, though, I kind of had a view of fighting financial crime. You know, you think, and all through you see cartoons and shows of what we think about financial crime is, and it's someone, you know, a robber going to a bank and stealing the money. Well, that looks very different now. This is really what it looks like now. It's someone behind a computer that is doing either, you know, different kind of scams, maybe elder abuse scams, you know, maybe identity theft, or they're laundering money through the computer. So there's a big shift in focus here, and really, what financial crime looks like for us is we're every day working to make our anti-financial crime platform smarter. So Natalia is every day in there making the platform smarter. Steph is every day making that really technical work that they do, making it something that everyone could read. So if you wanted to go in and understand what Verafin could do, Steph is going to make sure that you're able to understand that information. And me, I'm talking to banks, understanding what their problems are and saying, hey, these are the challenges we solve. This is what it looks like. So really, you've got everyone who kind of is focused on this. And so, you know, we always look at, you know, what are reasons to choose a career in technology, and also at Verafin, because really they're one and the same. So why would you be interested in working in technology, and what are we bringing to the table for everyone? And so what we do day to day, if you want to know what a day-to-day work life looks like, we'll get into a little bit, but really we're solving challenges. So every day we're talking to customers, we're understanding what is something that we could help you do better. How can we, you know, give you some time back in your day? How can we make your day easier? How can we help you catch more fraudsters? How can we help you catch more bad actors? And there's day-to-day challenges that come up all the time on how do we solve that issue? This bank said they need this. How do we solve that issue? And so there's a lot of kind of collaboration we do. And so I would say curiosity is a very common theme at Verafin, curious to understand how to do something better. And then, you know, the ability to create and innovate. If someone kind of said to me, go be innovative or go create something in technology, I don't know that I would know where to start necessarily, but when you work on it with a technology company, there's a whole team. So all, you know, you can sit around and talk about what's something we can do better. How do we do this? Oh, it would be cool if we could help banks do this better. How do we do that? And then we go talk about it, and there's a lot of smart people with lots of smart smart ideas that come to the table, and then we create something. So there's a lot of that. And you know, it's also really exciting to work in technology because you can have a lot of flexibility. It's one thing, you know, perhaps you start in one role, you can move to another role. So if you know technology, if you're in that industry, in that market, there's a lot of different things you can kind of do, and you can always explore, I think, is the main thing. So you don't have to have it all figured out now. You just have to have an open mind, I would say, and you can go in and you can see what you like and you can explore. And that's really kind of, that's really exciting, I think, for all of us. And then it's also really the best of both worlds, I would say. You get to have a lot of independence, and there's also a lot of team support. So there's every different type of person who works at Verafin. There are introverts, there are extroverts, there are people who like group things, there are people who do not like group activities. And so there is space for everyone, I would say, and that's really important. So that kind of leads us to what kind of skills do we need? What kind of skills are needed in technology? And every single type of skill is needed. So I think we think software development, and that's obviously a huge piece of it. We need a lot of folks who are able to code, who are able to think like an engineer. But we every tech organization or every tech business needs everything that a business needs. And I would also say lines are a bit blurred in terms of what is the technology industry versus what is any organization or what is any business. So technology is being used everywhere now. So you're not going to go wrong by going into tech because you can really apply that to anything. But what we see is a mix of everything. And on this call, you have a mix of everyone. So I would be the non-technical salesperson. Steph is being the hybrid person for us, half technical, half non-technical. She lives on that line, and Natalia is completely technical. And so really all of us always get together and talk about, like, how do we solve these problems? So there's lots of things you can do. You can get a lot of different degrees. There's people I know who are pharmacists that became project managers in technology, people who came from people who are teachers who went into change management or into professional services. And so there's just a lot of things you can do. And I think the main thing here is that there's always a good time to join tech. And you guys are in a great position in that, you're just kind of starting your journey here. So you're going to have a lot of options, which is really exciting.
And you guys are starting your journey with ChatGPT. You'll never have a job without it. Amazing. Lucky.
And okay, so with that, I'm going to hand it over to Steph. So Steph, tell us a little bit about what you do day to day.
Okay, so I am an introvert, but I don't mind talking to people if I'm prepared for the fact that it's going to happen. I think they call it an ambivert these days. I'm not totally sure. But basically what I do, if you had to take all of the tech stuff out of it, is I talk to a bunch of smart people. I help them to help me understand what they're talking about. And then I take that information and I make it understandable for everyone. So I did the same thing in science. Like, you might run genetic tests and all kinds of crazy lab work and different experiments. And it's complex, and the person just walking down the street doesn't really want to hear about that. But if you take that and you write it in such a way that everybody can access it and everybody can understand it, then people are interested. So that's what I do at Verafin. I basically have meetings with developers, people who are, making the sausage in the sausage factory, right? And they're very smart and they're very detail oriented in their role. And I take what they're doing and I basically understand it. So I have meetings with people. Everyone's really, really nice. It's never a burden. And then at the end of the week at Verafin, we have a weekly release. So, with your iPhones, when you get like the release notes, when you upgrade your iPhone and stuff, we do that once a week at Verafin with our product. So we have to have everything written. This is what we do. And that's just one thing that we write by the end of every week. So it's kind of fun. You have a time limit to understand something really complicated. And then you have to make it understandable by everyone by the end of the week, every week. Some things are a lot longer projects. And sometimes you'll work on a project for 5 months and then they'll say, we don't care about that anymore. Drop it and shift your focus to this thing. So if you're somebody who likes change like that, it's pretty exciting. So yeah, so job in 3 words: research it, understand it, reiterate it, so that everybody can kind of get. Because think of the audience for Verafin, right? It could be people internally in Verafin, but it could be anyone at any bank. Well, now in the world, it used to be just in North America, but now we're reaching out to Singapore and the UK, and we're starting to work all over. So that's your audience. It could be anyone in any role, right? What's my day-to-day like? So yeah, I do have a lot of meetings, a ton of meetings, but it's not how you think, that you sit in a cubicle and you're in a boardroom and you're just in meeting after meeting. It's exciting. It's like half an hour with this person and I also know them. And so they're kind of my friend and they're nice. And then we're talking about nerdy stuff and it's kind of fun. So a lot of meetings and then a lot of writing. That's what I do. So if you like writing, you'll like this. skills that we use in your job. So a question asked to me in my Verafin interview was, how curious are you on a scale of 1 to 10? And it's my favorite question I've ever been asked in any job interview ever. And I said 11 because I'm super curious, of course, as a scientist and a writer. And they said, that's a good answer. So if that's your same vibe, then this is a good thing for you too. Let's see. What else? Yeah, prioritization. There's a lot of time management. So those fun skills that you kind of develop sort of no matter where you go. Vocabulary, of course. And actually, we're looking at vocabulary in a different way these days. We're also looking at it in like a diversity lens as well. So we're trying to be smarter about the way we say things to that huge audience. And then creativity. I listened to a podcast this weekend that said, we don't get ideas, we make ideas, which is true. Ideas don't just occur to us randomly out of the blue, right? We make them. So we make them by ourselves at Verafin, but also we make them in teams, and really amazing stuff happens. Let's see. Yeah, so my education was completely focused in science, but the transferable skills, like I mentioned before, were perfect for being a product writer, explaining really complicated stuff in a simple way. And did I always want to be a technical writer? Not at all, actually. I would have never thought of that. I am actually, in my personal life outside of Verafin, a writer, like a creative writer, like short fiction and poetry and stuff like that. But what's really great for me is that I get to hone my craft all day, every day at work and have a paycheck while also doing the stuff that I love to do creatively. So it's a great accompaniment for that, if that's your reality. And what brought me to the tech sector, I just think it's completely exciting to watch the growth, almost so exciting that it's scary, and which is where you want to be, I think, right there. A chance to be creative, I'll take any chance I can get at that. And job security, like Joanna said, it's not a wrong choice if you go into tech, even if you decide this first tech role you take is not for you. It's never a wrong choice because everybody is using tech. So it does give you a sense of security that way. But I think that's about it for me.
Thank you, Steph. That's awesome. Over to you, Natalia.
Thanks, Joanna. So I started at Verafin as a software developer, and being on a development team, at first I was working on a smaller task, writing some code. And over the years, while I built the technical expertise, I became a lead of data platform, which consists of multiple teams. So currently, I need to have a vision where our data platform should be. So it is to have a clear and interesting idea where our data platform needs to be in the future, where to push it to the next level. And also I need to be able to see beyond the current state of our data platform. So that brings to innovation, because new technologies emerge every day. And since we want to push our data platform to the next level, we need to be able either to build new tools or define new processes or rewrite existing systems using new tools and technologies. And I work with multiple teams, not necessarily the teams that are within the data platform. So to communicate this vision to different people, different stakeholders at Verafin, need to be able to clearly define either the technical definitions or the vision or the problem that we are trying to solve. So as I said here on the slide, to describe my job in 3 words is to innovate, to have a vision, and communication. There is another one, 4th one, but I had to put only 3 words. It's continuous learning, because as I said, every day new technologies appear, new tools being released. So new languages, new programming languages appear as well. So we need to learn every day and be up to speed with everything that is happening in the tech world. So my day-to-day is having team stand-ups with my teams. It's a short meeting every day, about 15 minutes. Each team member tells what the person was working yesterday and what they are planning to do today. And if there are any blockers or concerns, we brainstorm. And if it requires a separate meeting, then we'll have a separate meeting to discuss this specific problem. There are also quarterly and yearly meetings, planning meetings, and also we have monthly planning meetings where we meet with a team and we decide and brainstorm what we need to do in order to achieve a specific goal. And being on the technical team, very often we have brainstorming sessions where we come up with different architectural designs. So it's quite interesting. As of what skills do I use in my job? It's first of all problem solving, because every day, and it's not an exaggeration, every day there are some challenges, some interesting problems that we need to solve. Then again, we need to communicate this either problems to different people or within the team as well, and also need to have some leadership skills. We need to define specific goals, provide feedback to the team members, and also help to create an environment where everybody collaborate. And another skill that is important is being able to plan ahead. As of education, as I mentioned, I did computer science. It did help a lot because that built the foundation for me to be successful in technical career. And in high school, as I mentioned before, I wanted to be an archaeologist, but when I went to do my undergrad studies, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to be, either web developer or maybe system programmer. So getting my first job after graduation in tech sector actually helped me understand that this is something I enjoy. Being part of a technical team and seeing day-to-day life of a developer and how fun it is to solve complex problems and have an impact as well made me realize that this is something that I want to pursue further. And as of what brought me to the tech sector, it's impact and innovation. Impact is because if your passion lies outside of technology, technology is everywhere. It's in healthcare, in government, financial services. So if you want to make an impact and your passion overlaps between some certain things and technology, there is so much opportunity to have that impact. At Verafin, as Joanna said, we fight financial crime. And when you realize that the work that you do actually has such an impact in preventing financial crime. And innovation, we always learn new things and we come up with different solutions. Sometimes something we build something that has no one has done before, and that's very cool to see that come to life. And I think that's it for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Natalia. That's great. Appreciate your insight there. And then I'll tell you a little bit about my role as well. So I'm in sales, in technology sales. And what I do is I understand bank challenges. So honestly, I kind of view myself as a little detective. I go in and I ask banks what kind of issues they face, what are their pain points, what are they not able to see, how much fraud happens at their bank, and we help them solve those problems. And so then I work with all the smart people, which are Steph and Natalia and all the team, to help solve that challenge. Skills that I use, just, ability to speak to people, definitely curiosity, time management, although I know we're kind of coming up on time here. We'll leave questions, I promise, time for questions. And then ownership. So that's one thing that I think is really important, is that, you're able to do a task and kind of see it through. Again, I did business throughout school. I'm non-technical, but I've worked in technology for 12 or 13 years. And so you learn a lot kind of through that time. I did not think I was going to go into sales. I really had no idea. I think I thought sales, maybe how you stereotypically think that, and I didn't see myself as salesy, and this is not that, right? I mean, you're really a business partner to banks and to companies, and you're helping them solve those challenges. And I would say the thing that brought me to the tech sector is just that I was open to change. Again, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do, but I knew what I liked at the time, and I knew I wanted to do something innovative in a business setting. And so I applied for a job around proposals, and then that's how I got started. So this is kind of a few snaps I took when I was on work travel. So with sales, you do get an opportunity to travel a lot. And so I've worked with clients across North America, across the US. I spent a lot of time traveling to California. There's a few pictures of Seattle in there. I think there's a picture of me telling a bad joke at a presentation. There's me in Lake Tahoe. So I got to, as the Canadian in the group, I got to drive a group of Floridians to Lake Tahoe, which was fun. And then there's a picture of me, of course, traveling out of Newfoundland, getting stuck in an airport. And I think that picture kind of dates me because look at the headgear that I have on. So now it will be much cooler, but that was cool then, guys. So that's kind of my role. What I'm really passionate about, and what I think we all care about a lot on this call, is helping people understand that diversity in tech is so important. And so if you take one thing away from us talking today, take away that everyone brings value to the tech sector. Every person's contribution matters. All types of skills are needed. It's never too late, and it's never too early to start to kind of join. You can have an amazing career, and I don't say job there because you can have many jobs, but you can have an amazing career in which you really love what you do and you have a lot of options. And then people and companies need more female representation in leadership, or female identifying representation, for many reasons. And across the board, companies who have that are more profitable. And that's not the only reason, of course. There's many reasons to be inclusive, but it's an important reason as well if you're a business. And then we did want to mention just a few things. So even for you folks who may or may not want to enter technology, things that are really important that we found from working with folks is to keep an open mind, to be coachable, to have that kind of wanting to learn mentality. That really helps. Natasha talked about that continuous improvement. We all still have a learning attitude. So someone today can walk in and coach me on sales, and I'm open to hearing it, because if someone has a good idea, I want to know about it. And also just to kind of set goals for yourself. So there's things that you can do, and we're going to get into that here. I'll kind of fast forward. But how do you get into tech? Well, there's obviously degrees and diplomas you can do. There's a few different routes there. But there's also building your resume, and that can start now. Building your resume, there's lots of different courses you can do. There's videos for free. There's hackathons you can partake in, and there's side projects you can do. There are high school summer programs. Verafin has its own high school internship. That's a paid internship where you get to work and see everything. And then there's also everything else. So what if you left this conversation and you wanted to get involved in technology today? Here is where you can go. There's lots of different outlets you can do. So TechNL, there's lots of different sites that you can visit. There's people that will talk to you about how to get involved. Canada Learning Code, there's a new teen ambassador program. There's ladies learning code through Canada Learning Code. There's so many cool things that you can do now. And Get Coding, and that's also based here in Newfoundland. So Canada Learning Code has a Newfoundland chapter. Get Coding is based in Newfoundland. There's high school internships outside of Verafin as well. And also there's this whole no-code platform, and you can learn that online in your spare time. And so I know that's kind of a lot to kind of put into one thing, but if you take one thing away from it, it's that there's a lot of things you can do to see now if you like technology, if that's something of interest, before you even start further education around it. And I know we've said a lot of words. I'll pause there if there's questions.
One of our listeners has a question there, Joanna, and maybe this is for Stephanie or Natalia, but do you work in other languages besides English?
Natalia, did you want to speak to that first?
It's English for me only. However, I think it does help to learn other languages as well, since we are planning to expand our customers across the globe. So
Yeah.
I'm currently learning German because of one of our expansions. And soon we'll be utilizing a new platform for writing and for documentation at Verafin that has basically perfect translation skills as well. So yeah, we work with people from all over the globe, both as customers and as colleagues. So yeah, it's definitely beneficial to have to know multiple languages, or if that's how you want to get into tech, that's another avenue for sure.
Yeah, thank you. I was curious because you did mention at the outset that you have, I guess, about 1,000 employees and that you work with financial institutions across the globe. So I was assuming that more languages the better for sure. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, Katrina posted a link for a form if you have questions now or later. And you can also unmute yourself and ask out loud or put it in the chat feature. But another class has asked, awesome, wondering what a salary looks like at Verafin.
Just cut to the chase, hey?
It's funny. I think in technology, we use the words, it depends all the time. Can we, solve this challenge? It depends. But I will say that a lot of reasons people get into technology as well is that it pays well. So by that, I mean, you can have some freedom, and freedom can mean a lot of different things. Financial freedom, flexibility, time freedom. There's a lot of different ways you can look at what is good for you and good for your career. I would say everyone I know who kind of works in tech has a bit of both. They have some financial freedom, they have some flexibility and time freedom, and so it's a really good avenue to go when it comes salary wise. Although I don't have the list in front of me, so I can't pull it out. HR might get mad at me, but
but I will say this. To answer your question. What Verafin does is they look at the whole market of all. Say you're going to be a developer or like a data installer or something. They will look at the entire market that we are a part of and see what everyone's paying their employees, and then they pay you a little bit more than that. And that's the way that Verafin wants to keep you, right? And we're all like, great, okay, we are kept. That's great. So they pay well. Yep.
Awesome. Okay, keep the questions coming. Oh, we got another one here. Have you noticed yet how AI, such as ChatGPT, impacts your career?
Yes, we're having a hackathon this week, actually. If you don't know what a hackathon is, it's when everybody kind of drops what they're doing. And I don't know if you've ever heard the term hive mind, but everybody, like little bees, works on separate projects that they think could help the company. And people who are like usually accountants can come help over here making this thing, and it's cool. Everybody gets mixed up. But I'm actually part of a project right now that is creating a chat bot for like accessing. We're testing it, I think, on the Star Wars wiki, I think, potentially, to create it. But we then would make it pull up all kinds of banking information and stuff that's more applicable to what we do. So yeah, we're working on that like right now, utilizing ChatGPT and all kinds of different AI and machine learning stuff.
And I would just like to add that I'm not worried that my role will be replaced by ChatGPT, because we are looking at this technology just as an addition to improve our systems and applications rather than something that will take over and replace us.
Yeah, I think everyone who has kind of like an adopt technology, like use it for good, there's a way to like use all of it for good, right? And so ChatGPT being so new, so powerful, it's something that we're exploring now, and it's so cool to kind of see it in that hackathon and see how we can use it.
I guess in some ways as well, within your field, particularly, obviously fighting financial crime is always trying to stay a step or two or three ahead. So do you, I guess, when you see technologies like ChatGPT and the potential, does that raise some, I'm sure it must raise some concerns for your company, but again, part of your company is addressing challenges, correct?
Yeah. So, like, from a security standpoint, there's a bunch of due diligence happening for ChatGPT and stuff. Of course, because you don't want to send all of your secret sauce to the internet and then it's gone forever, right? So, yeah, before we can just use that in kind of like how you would use it at home randomly, there has to be a lot of different security and due diligence done there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, everyone. I think we'll wrap it up now. But again, Katrina shared the Google link form. So, and we're recording all these. We're collecting these on the website. You can watch past ones and you can watch these again over and over. And the Google form, you can use it for any questions you have from presentations you've seen already. So keep them coming. All of these companies, they're at your beck and call to answer questions about the tech sector and careers in Newfoundland. So, Katrina, I don't know if you have any final thoughts, but
sure. Thanks.
Joanna.
Thanks, Jacqueline. Joanna, would you like to say something before I clue everything up?
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I mean, it is like growing up, we weren't thinking about technology. There were some kind of strong female role models in other areas, but to see a focus on technology so early and to see lots of different cool things coming up with ways to help people get into the technology sector, it's really exciting. So thank you for putting thank you for putting this off. Thank you, students, for listening on your first day back from Easter break. And if you remember one thing, just that, your input is valuable and you can have a really great career.
Thank you, Joanna. And thank you to everyone who joined today. Extra thanks to Joanna, Steph, Natalia, and Jacqueline. And, for really highlighting, for me, the diversity of skills that exist. And I heard the importance of curiosity, collaboration, communication, a growth mindset, continuous learning, and that huge diversity of skills and interests that we have. To think that I'm interested in writing, I'm interested in English, but you too can be a superhero with Verafin or with another tech industry. So students, as you reflect today on what you heard, perhaps you will have additional questions. And as Jacqueline said, you can get your questions answered directly by people in the field who do this work. So I do encourage you to fill out the Google form and get your questions answered. And recordings are going to be uploaded to our website for those of us who weren't able to join us live today. So please do spread the word that that's available. And I hope to have you all join us next week when we learn about the work of Sequence Bio and Smart Ice. So thank you, everyone. It's been fabulous to have you here. Have a great first week back from break.